It's Sandy Poor off Boxing Social, and I'm joined by Jeff Powell of the Daily Mail. Jeff, we've just witnessed Anthony Joshua reclaim his unified world heavyweight titles with a unanimous decision victory over Andy Ruiz Jr. What was your thoughts on the fight and Anthony's performance?
Nothing wrong with the scoring. I also had it 118, 110. It was either that or 119, 109, so we're fine with that. He did the job he had to do. It was by far the only certain way he had of winning the fight. He stuck to the plan pretty well most of the time. Every time he did step out of jab, move, run, frustrate, he did a little frizzen of excitement when it looked like he might get caught. I don't think it's going to sell boxing to Saudi Arabia, but it's done the job perfectly. This was not a thriller in Manila, was it? But he did what he had to do. He's a two-time heavyweight champion of the world. He deserves it. Psychologically, he came back from a dark place after what happened in New York. He got his act together. I was a bit worried looking at the film of him, the pictures of him coming out from the dressing room. He was like sweating so profusely and looking mouth open, gulping air. He obviously knew how much was at stake. But having said that, it's to his credit that under that pressure, he produced a fluent, moving, athletic performance. With the weight off, with less concentration on narcissistic bodybuilding, if you like, he is a much better athlete, and that was vital tonight. Would you want to see it again? No. Would you want to see a third fight? Don't think so. Bigger fish to fry, but he did the job, and that's all he could ask of himself and all we could expect from him tonight.
What was your thoughts on Andy Ruiz's performance? Was you surprised at all that he never seemed to quite be able to land anything, or is that just down to Anthony Joshua's style and performance on the night?
Well, he didn't have an opponent in front of him in the first fight. I think AJ looked at this sort of short, rather corpulent chap who he hardly knew anything about before he went into the fight, or before the fight was made, I should say, and just didn't concentrate sufficiently. He was caught by surprise. There was no prospect of Ruiz doing that tonight because of the way AJ fought. Whether he was as fit as he should have been, I don't know. He didn't look to me much heavier than he did in New York. I thought he looked actually, if anything, a little lighter in the stomach, but a little bit bulky around the shoulders. And maybe he changed his training a little bit in the reverse of what AJ did, and that didn't work for him. He wasn't quite as quick on his feet as I would have expected to see him. But he had further to go. When he was quickened in on AJ in the first fight with the little short steps and fast movement, AJ was in distance because he thought he could knock him out, and then he got knocked out himself. Now he had further to travel to get to Joshua, and he was unable to make such an impact when he got there. The train was slowing down on arrival.
Just to quickly get your thoughts on the undercard as well, Dillian Whyte returning with his victory over Vac. What was your thoughts on his win?
It was a fight of no consequence. He should get someone like back out there, but then he's been out for 6 months and he was overweight. It doesn't tell us anything about Dillian that we didn't know before, because he was way below his best. We can't judge how the layoff and the controversies affected him until we see him fully fit in a fight against a good heavyweight.
And Michael Hunter, Alexander Povetkin ending as a split decision draw. Your thoughts on that one, Jeff?
I wonder quite what Hunter's going to do, because he's light for a heavyweight. He's really a cruiserweight. The money's in the heavyweight division, as we know. He's very talented, but to have a heavyweight career, he's going to better make his money, and if he's going to win any titles quickly, because he's going to have a lot of 12-round fights, and he's going to take a lot of wear and tear, and he'll have a limited number of fights. I would say you can't have a 40-50 fight career if you can't knock people out at this weight. And if he's going to have any kind of success, he's got to get it quickly before he ships a lot of wear and tear and damage.
Well, Jeff Powell, I will let you crack on now, because I know the fight's just ended. Everybody's going to the press conference. So thank you for your time this week, and thanks for speaking to myself on Boxing Social.
Always a pleasure.
Thank you, Jeff.